flesh.
He was born. So the spirit is what caused the conception, but he was born in flesh afterwards.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay. So you get into the scriptures now. You continue. I'm listening.
Okay, I'm just looking for Luke. 1 second. So, what Bible do you prefer when you read it? Read the translations.
KJV 1611.
Okay, same thing here. Well, this 1769 is what I read, but it's going to be similar. Um, okay, so I'm gonna bring you to Luke 1.
Luke 1, chapter 1, right?
Yes. Yeah, so I
Okay.
want to just read maybe like four passages about Zacharias and Elizabeth, and then go to Mary
Okay. Okay.
because they pretty much set the stage for Mary. So verse 7 says that it says, and they had no child. This is talking about Zacharias and Elizabeth. They were
Uh-huh.
married. They had no child, and the reason why they had no child is because Elizabeth was barren, and they
Uh-huh.
were both now well stricken in age. So they have no child, and their excuse was Elizabeth is barren. So,
It was too old, pretty much.
well, barren is the main reason, and then it says and they were old. So barren is the number one reason why they're not having kids. So it's basically Elizabeth's fault that they're not having kids. And then age, because at one point they were young, and now they're older. So that makes it double harder now because she's barren, and now they're older. So that's double hard. So now, like you and I, women, men, right now, like everybody, now I can't say everybody, but most people want to have offspring. They want to leave a generation behind. So Joseph, in verse 13, it tells us that the angel came to Joseph and said, "Fear not, for thy prayer is heard, and thy wife Elizabeth shall bear thee a son, and thou shalt call his name John." So what's being communicated here, the angel is saying, "Hey, the Most High heard your prayer. He's going to grant your prayer, and I'm here to tell you that. So be no surprises."
Mm-hmm.
So verse 24 is the fulfillment of that. So verse 24, it says, "And after those days, his wife Elizabeth conceived and hid herself 5 months, saying." So it didn't say she's going to conceive, right? Because that's future. Right now, it's saying she conceived already. She's already pregnant, and she hid herself 5 months. So I was pointing out earlier that conceive without the D just means it's going to happen, right? If you put a D on there, that's past tense. I mean, it already started.
Got
So
it.
Elizabeth, yep. So Elizabeth already started. So that same angel is going to come to Mary. Verse 27 says, "To a virgin espoused." So I'm only skipping around because I'm assuming you read these passages in between. And
Yeah,
if I
yeah, yeah. I'm listening.
yeah, and if I don't make
You're
sense,
making your
stop me.
point.
Right. So it says
Now
to
you're
a
making
virgin.
your point.
Okay. Thank you. It says to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. Okay. So now the angel's going to give Mary, the same news about a pregnancy that was given to Zacharias. So 31 is that. 31 says, "And behold, thou shalt conceive." So this conceive is not ED. So the angel's not telling Mary she's pregnant right now. He's saying you will be, right? Sometime, but not this instant, and not as I'm talking to you, you're not pregnant. That's why it says thou shalt conceive. It doesn't say you conceived ED. So he's telling her you're going to conceive in your womb, and you're going to bring forth a son, and shall call his name Jesus. Okay, so now 34, Mary's response was, uh, "How shall this be, seeing I know not a man?" So I'll give you my take on that. So Mary is espoused to Joseph, so she is full well aware of how babies are created. Okay, she know a man and woman come together. Well, a married couple comes together, a spouse couple comes together, they have sex, they have kids. So when she said, "How shall this be?" she wasn't trying to get a breakdown of the birds and the bees. She was saying, how am I going to be pregnant as you're saying I never had sex? And that's what we get. I know not a man. That's a famous phrase for I didn't have sex or I had sex. So
Think she was
36.
in a notable age, right?
So verse 36, the angel just now the angel is going to catch Mary up to speed. So Luke told us about Elizabeth and Zacharias. Like us are like we're the readers. Mary's unaware of that. So when the angel and that the angel's now going to make Mary aware of what happened to Elizabeth. So in verse 36, the angel said, "And behold, your cousin Elizabeth, she also conceived a son in her old age, and this is the 6th month with her, who is called barren." So I see that word barren there again. Barren is the initial cause why they didn't have kids. It wasn't old age, even though old age played another part. So Mary is told that she will conceive, but then she's told Elizabeth conceived. So you agree that the angel is telling Mary that Elizabeth is already pregnant.
Yeah. She was
Okay.
already pregnant before Mary got pregnant.
I can't hear you. You were low.
I said, yeah, she was pregnant before Mary got pregnant.
Now you're like really away from your phone. Can't really hear you at all.
You hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. You're way better now. And what was that you said?
Now I said, yeah, she was pregnant before Mary got pregnant.
So yeah, that's a fact. So you believe in the Immaculate Conception then?
That's not what it's saying. Chicken sandwich with cheese. No, what it's saying. I'm gonna give you my take. I'm hearing
Okay.
your piece.
Okay,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
give you my piece on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So from Luke 24, I'm gonna start at 24 on down because I'm gonna read everything. It says, after those days, his wife Elizabeth conceived and hid herself 5 months, saying, "Thus hath the Lord dealt with me in the days wherein he looked on me and take away my reproach among men," right? Because she was barren, right?
Yeah.
The same thing what happened with Isaac and Rebecca. Rebecca and Isaac was in their old age before they could see Jacob and Esau, right?
Yeah.
So then it says, verse 26, and in the 6 months the angel Gabriel was sent from God unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph. So espoused just means to be married to or to be betrothed, right?
Right.
To a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David, which is the David was his bloodline where he came from, right? Joseph was the great great grandson of David, right?
Yep, that's a fact.
And the virgin's name was Mary, and the angel came and unto her and said, Hail, thou art Hail, thou that art highly favored, and the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. And when she saw him, she was troubled with this saying. She was confused and cast in her mind, what manner of salutation is this? Like, how you gonna tell? Like, what is this? Like, I don't understand what you're trying to tell me. Like, that's what she was saying to him, to the angel. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God, and behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb and bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus. So he telling her, like, before it happened, like you said, before it happened, he letting you know you're gonna be pregnant with the Son of God.
Right.
He shall be great and shall be called the name of the highest, the Son of the highest, and the Lord God shall give unto him the throne of his father David. So he letting you know he's coming from the seed line of David through Joseph. Right? And we're going to skip that 33, 34, 35, and 36. And behold, thy cousin Elizabeth, she had also conceived a son in her old age, and this is the 6 months with her, who was called barren. So pretty much he's just saying, like, hey, look, he's giving her like a prophecy, like a pre, you know what I'm saying, preeminence. Like, hey, look, you're gonna be pregnant with this son from the Most High, but it's gonna be through David, through the seed line of David, through Joseph, right?
Yeah, I didn't read through
Hold on,
Joseph. I just read through David.
hold on. We go to Romans 1 and 3.
Wait, so before we leave this book, I wanted to like just speak on the verses here, then we can leave. Because when I leave, I want to come back and confuse everybody. So So, like you said, there was other women who were barren. So you mentioned Rebecca, right?
Yeah.
And there's other women in Israel that the angel either came to the husband or it came to the wife herself, like Manoah, Samson, father and mother. That the angel told either the mother or the father or both that they were going to have a baby because they were barren, right?
Uh-huh.
So what I find interesting is that Mary is not barren, and she's the only woman in the entire Bible who's told the obvious. If you're not barren, it's obvious you're going to have kids, especially if you're a spouse. So the angel
Uh-huh.
coming to Mary to tell her the obvious wouldn't make sense because the angel is coming to Elizabeth to say, in your current condition, I know that's why 37 says, with God, nothing is impossible because in Elizabeth's current condition, that has seemed like an impossible thing to have a baby while being barren. And that's why Zacharias responded like that. And then when Mary was told she's going to have a baby, she didn't believe it either. She said, "How shall this be?" So the angel is telling Mary, "Well, Elizabeth, in her current condition of barrenness, she's going to have a baby because God can perform miracles." And Mary, likewise, in your position in virginity, you're going to have a baby because God can perform miracles. So when you look at 36, you said you agree with 36, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So how do you agree with 36 and don't believe in an immaculate conception?
Read 39.
I'm saying like 36. 36, yeah. So 39, she went, okay, so 39 it says, and Mary arose in those days and went into the hill country with hasten to and seated Judah and entered to the house of Zacharias and slew Elizabeth. Right. So we know she went to go see her cousin who was barren, had this miraculous conception. But 36, read 36. I think you're going to agree that this is immaculate conception. But read 36 again.
Say, and behold, thy cousin Elizabeth, she have also conceived a son in her old age, and this is the 6 months with her who was called barren.
So, brother, when it says she have also conceived, ed past tense, who else is the also referring to?
Mary.
Right. So they're both pregnant.
She conceived, yeah, but it's still, if she was barren, that means she couldn't have kids. That means that they went to the Most High and prayed to the Most High, and He opened up her womb in order for her to conceive, right?
Right. Right.
But she
So,
still had a son through Zacharias, her
oh
husband.
yeah, that's without a doubt. But the Most High, because Zacharias is there, like he's in the conversation. The Most High, the angel was speaking to Zacharias, and Zacharias was told, "Your wife is going to bear you a son, so you have to be involved." Mary was never told about Joseph. Mary was told about herself, and then we read in 36, she's pregnant. So she's pregnant, and her cousin Elizabeth is 6 months pregnant. Mary is probably like 1 day or 2 days pregnant. So they're both pregnant, but Liz, and it actually says Joseph. It actually says that Zacharias went home to his wife. So like that's
How
enough implication, huh?
if she didn't meet Joseph yet? How was she pregnant? If he
That's
came
what.
through the blood of David?
Yeah, so that's why we call it a miracle birth, brother. 35.
He came through the seed line of David through Joseph. Joseph had to inseminate
Now,
her in order
reading,
for her to.
so let me read this to you again. So you read it, but you like added something there. It said, "He shall be great and shall be called the Son of the Highest." So the angel is saying he will be called the Son of God, and the Lord God shall give him the throne of his father David. I don't see Joseph. And then it says, "He shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and his kingdom there should be no end." So nothing about this occurrence, Joseph was added here at all, zero. But she's still pregnant in spite of that. So that's what we call it miracle birth or immaculate conception. So now, what were you going to do in Romans 1 and 3?
Same thing. He just came through the seed line of David.
Okay. But why you say seed line of Joseph then, if it's saying David?
Yeah, David was the seed. Joseph was the seed of David, right?
Yeah, and so was many other men in Israel. But that don't make you automatically her baby daddy because you're from David.
So when she was
So
already pregnant, she went and met Joseph, and then automatically you found out she was pregnant. And Joseph told her. I mean, the Most High went to a dream and told. That's in Matthew, right?
yeah, so that's
Did-
why he kind of bugged out. That's why he was kind of like tripping.
No,
Okay. What verse you want to go to?
one second.
Okay.
There you go to Matthew 1:20.
You're gonna skip 18, 19? Okay, we're at 20.
You start at 18. You start at 18 and go down to
Okay.
20.
Go ahead. You want to read that and explain what's going on?
Now, the birth of Jesus Christ was on this wise when his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph before they came together, right? So it was already said that they was going to be married or they was going to be betrothed with each other already because the Most High went to him in a dream, right?
Right.
When as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Ghost. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man and not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privily. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not to take unto thee Mary thy wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Ghost. Right?
Right.
And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. See, all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by his prophet, saying, Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which being interpreted is God with us. Then Joseph, being raised from sleep, did as the angel of the Lord had bidden him. So all that was done in a dream.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was letting her know. He was letting both of them know that, hey, y'all was gonna meet each other and y'all was gonna have a child together.
It said that?
So I'm
Where
saying
did it say?
that's what it's getting at. If you're reading it through the spirit,
Hey, I thought you. Oh, I'm trying to read to the text. So because if we read to the spirit, then everybody's going to have their own
it
explanation of
says,
what's going
Behold,
on.
baby shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which being interpreted is God with us. Then Joseph, being raised from sleep, did as the angel of the Lord had bidden him, and took unto him his wife, and
Right.
knew her not till
What does
he
that
had
mean?
brought. Huh?
What does that mean? He knew or not?
They didn't know each other until they met.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, brother. If we're going to be honest, uh, when Mary said, "I know not a man," that doesn't mean she don't know people or men to have sleep with. That means I never had sex. So the phrase knew her not, that's directly pointing to sex when it comes to men and women. So let me just give you a couple of examples, and then we can move past that. I'm gonna take it to Judges. So Judges, you might want to write this down. Judges 21 and 12. Watch this. And they found among the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead 400 young virgins that had known no man. So, brother, they didn't know a man. Does that mean they don't know who men are, or does that mean they didn't have sex with men? They were virgins.
Oh, let me get that because you got to read in context.
Yeah, sure, sure. And well, it says this by lying with any male. So, I'm sorry. It says
Well,
they had known
again,
no man by lying with any male. So the context is clear. It's laying with men. And we
wait,
have
wait,
the Judges
what
21
chapter?
and 12.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't know that. Don't know a man or know a man or know her, don't know her. I'm surprised you didn't know that was like sex. Yeah, that kind of shocked me a little bit. Hmm.
You say, and they found among the inhabitants of Jabesh, Gilead, 400 young virgins that had known no man by lying with any man. Right?
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Like them not having sex.
Okay. So can you go to
And
First Kings chapter 1? I'm going to show you another one.
say it again.
First Kings chapter 1.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Verse 4. This is talking about King David. So if you look at verse 1, it says now King David. But look at it says now King David was old and stricken in years. But read verse 4.
Say, and the damsel was very fair and cherished the king and ministered to him, but the king knew her not.
What does that mean?
Yeah, for face value, he didn't know who she was.
No, he brother, come on now. He brother. She cherished okay, brother. This is King David. This is talking about a young woman who he did not have sex with, brother. That's what Nor okay. So last one. Now, if you don't get it this time, I'll just move on. But that's sad. Okay, go to Genesis chapter 4. Okay, when you get there, let me know. Because now you got a woman serving him all this time and he doesn't know who she is. That doesn't even make sense, brother.
Okay, we have four.
Can you read
Four and
verse
what was it?
1?
And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord.
So, brother, do you think this is the first time he knowing who she is, or do you think this means what I said it means? It means that he's having sex with her, and as a result, she conceived and bare Cain.
Say it again.
Okay, when it says Adam knew Eve, his wife, what do you think that means?
I mean, if that's his wife, then obviously they knew each other, right?
Well, King David knew the person taking care of him, and Mary knew who Joseph was. But Joseph, the Bible says Joseph knew her not until she gave birth to Christ. So this is talking about. So you agree that when it says he knew his when he knew his wife Eve, you agree that means sex?
We're gonna take it for face value. What the context says, it doesn't
All right.
say so.
Okay. So read 25 then, verse 25.
Okay.
It's not gonna say
Well,
sex. This is Old English. Okay. Read verse 25. This is a family
see,
friendly book.
First Kings 1:25,
No, no, no,
right?
no, 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 no. Genesis 4. You read verse 1. Just go to 25 and read that.
Genesis 4:25.
Yeah, please.
Genesis 4:25. And what say? Methuselah
No, no,
lived
no,
a
no,
hundred.
no, no. Genesis 4, chapter 4, verse 25.
And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son,
Okay, so,
and
so
called his
brother, hold on. Okay. So he knew her in verse 1 and he had a kid. He's knowing her again and they having another kid. And you don't think knowing means sex, right?
I never saw that.
So you agree now that it means it's a sexual reference, right? Inference.
If yeah, from the context what you just put it in, yeah,
Okay.
he knew her again, and they bare a
Yeah,
son.
sure.
You're right.
Okay, so let's go back to Matthew's 125.
Okay.
Okay, so it says, and knew her not. So this is Joseph. Joseph knew her not. I showed you plethora of times. I got many more where he did not. It means he didn't have sex with her. This is a family oriented book. It's not going to say the word sex in there, brother. It says, and knew her not till she had brought forth her firstborn son. So that means that he didn't have sex to her with her until she brought forth Jesus. So he had sex with her afterwards, possibly. But I got this verse for you. Can you go to verse 15?
Matthew 1:15.
Yeah. Matter of fact, no, 14. I'm sorry, 14.
And Azar begat Sadak, and Sadak begat Achim, and Achim begat Eliud.
That's it. That's it. Okay, so in verse 14, who was Sadok's father? Verse 14, who's Sadok's father?
Azor, right?
What word lets you know that?
Say it again.
What word lets you know he's the father?
I don't get what you're saying.
So how do you know he was the father? What word that you read that lets you know he's the father?
It said begat.
Read verse 15.
15.
Yeah, 1-5.
And Eliab begat Eleazar, and Eleazar begat Mathan, and Mathan begat Jacob,
And verse 16.
and Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, in whom was born Yahushua, or Jesus, who is called Christ.
Okay, who is Jesus' father here?
Joseph
What word lets you know that?
says begat,
It says Joseph begot Jesus.
and Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Yahweh Jews
So don't
Jesus.
that make
Then,
so don't that make Jacob a father? If it says Jacob begot Joseph, doesn't that make Jacob a father and Joseph a son?
yep,
Okay, so where do you read Joseph begot Jesus?
it didn't say.
Okay, immaculate conception.
So Christ was born out of thin air. That's what you pretty much telling me.
All right, so you want me to say it or you want to read it? So we
Yeah,
read.
we just
Okay,
reading it. I'm from
all right.
the breakdown what you're giving me. I'm asking you from your point.
Yeah, I'm not
Is
I'm
that
not giving a breakdown. Okay, so let me tell you. So we read in Luke 135 that Mary said, "How am I going to become pregnant as a virgin?" And the angel listed some ways, and Joseph was not an option. Okay, and so it was the Holy Spirit shall come upon her, and the power, the high power, the miraculous ways of the Most High is going to cause that to happen. Because the Most High, the same way He opened up Elizabeth's womb to cause her to become pregnant, the same way the Most High is going to, well, not the same way, but he's going to be also involved in Mary's pregnancy. So the same way He was involved in Elizabeth's pregnancy, He's going to be involved in Mary's pregnancy. Okay. So then we read the genealogy of Jesus, because he has his father and parents are going to be listed there. You would think, um, but we don't read that. But we do read his mother though. It says Mary gave birth to Jesus, who is called Christ. So in the generation of Jesus, a mother is listed. No father is listed for him, but every other son, their father is listed,
so?
except
This person begat that person. This person begat that person, but it
right.
never
Those are
said
all
who.
fathers,
It never said who begat Christ.
right? But it says who gave birth to him. It said Mary.
I'm just, I'm not discrediting you. I'm not following you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's it. So you read it back perfectly. Christ, it didn't show him as having a father, but it did show Mary giving birth to him as a mother. So that's it, and that's why the world reads that in plain English and say, "Hey, immaculate conception." You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
So
I'm still gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go back and talk to my
yeah,
higher ups. Like, yeah, I don't know how long you've been in the truth, but I haven't been in the truth that long. 4 years. You know what I mean? I'm still
13
learning, but
years.
you see what I'm saying? So I'm still
Yeah, I've
learning.
been
I'm
teaching
still
for
a baby.
13 years. Oh no, I
I'm
got
still a
you. And yeah, so all praises. So the Holy Spirit is within you, is moving you. That's why we met. But 13 years, what church are you in? Are you like in a Mormon church of Latter-day
oh
Saints?
no, Hebrew Israelite.
Oh, what church? What camp?
NOKAP, Nation of Kings and Priests.
Is that a church?
No, it's not a church. We're a congregation.
All right. Well, bless you guys. Are you guys, how long you guys been around?
I don't know. You have to talk to those guys about that. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Like I said,
Okay. So
I study and learn here and there from different people. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So what you
So
showing me, like I said, nobody broke it down to me like that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like I don't know. I have to introduce you to my higher ups, and maybe y'all can come to terms or whatever. But you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm still a babe. So from
all
my
praise.
knowledge,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the extent of my knowledge, I haven't seen that.
Right. And look, brother, I don't believe in coincidences. I think people meet each other for bad things and good things, and it's all directed by the Most High. So the fact that you're a babe, like you said, was a perfect opportunity for us to meet. Because had you been somebody like 12 years in, like the guy you want to, refer me
Damn
to,
fool.
huh?
I said, I look like a damn fool.
No, 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 no. You look no, no, because the Bible says be fools are great. It said be a fool for Christ. So what I'm saying is the fact that you're a babe, you were able to receive what I just gave you in plain English. It made the absolute most sense. Had you come, had you been here, like you're like the guy you trying to get me to speak to, he's not going to be a babe, so he might have a difficulty receiving like this plain English, because he's probably like convinced of his own doctrine. So that's the good thing about being a babe, because Christ spoke highly of the babes and the children. You know, As a matter of fact, he said to come into this word, you must be reborn. So you came over here in a perfect time as you in your babe status. So this was the
Mm.
best. Now, had you came 10 years from now, you would have probably said, nah, nah. You'd have argued for no reason, and and you would have maybe had a different, perspective that wouldn't line up, because Luke 1 shows you uh, barren women. And brother, just keep this in mind. No matter who talks to you, keep this in mind. Um, Women get approached by angels and they're told about a pregnancy, brother, when they're barren, when they cannot have kids. There's never a case where a woman was not barren and the angel said, "Hey, you're gonna have a baby." Brother, that's common sense. That's common sense today. So like there's no miracle. An angel's not gonna approach you unless it's a miraculous moment. Okay. So the angel ain't gonna come to you, "Hey, what's your name, brother?"
Maccabees.
Okay, so imagine, let's say every 5 o'clock you go to Popeyes. Let's just say that. Or Subway. Let's say Subway. You go to Okay. So if an angel stop you and say, "Hey, brother
Like,
Maccabees, you're going to Subways at 5 o'clock," you'd be like, "Okay, so that's no miracle. That's the obvious." Or let's say if you're dating a woman, you know, for the first time, but you've been dating her for like 5, 6 months, and you already proposed to her,
it's
and the
truck
angel
ride about.
and the angels say, "Hey, you're gonna have a baby." You're like, "Yeah, that's the plan." Like that's not a miracle. That's not some brilliant news to give somebody. That's the obvious. So that's why Mary responded differently. She said, "How am I going to be pregnant while I'm still a chaste virgin?" If she was already sleeping with somebody, it's obvious. Yeah, I know, Angel. I got Joseph at home. I know. So she said, "How, as a chaste virgin, am I going to have a baby?" And the angel explained the process, and it did not mention Joseph one time. It talked about Mary giving birth to Jesus. Never did the angel add Joseph. Then we go read the genealogy of these people, and we see Joseph don't have any kids. He's the only father without kids, and nobody can change that.
Mm.
Like you can't just add there, "Hey, Joseph begot Jesus." You can't do that. It's already sealed. Like the book is sealed. All right. So I told them I wouldn't take much of your time. But if you want to, chop it up some more, we can arrange something. And if you wanted to invite one of your elders, no problem. I'll have a talk with them, a respectful talk.
Yeah. We can do that.
Is that
Right
all
now,
right?
they have a parade going on in front of my house, trying to block the music.
Oh, hey, hey.
14 going on right now.
All right. Well, brother, you be safe out there. I'm gonna end our call. We've been on here for like 2 hours, and Lord's willing, we'll talk again. Shalom.
All right, shalom.
Oh boy. Okay, you see, all the calls don't go wrong. Like some guys are still reachable. All right. So I'm just trying to see who else is out there. Who else is out there? Oh my God. Oh my God. Hey, J Hall, peace. I'm trying to send you hey, New Black World Order, Keenan, ICK, yeah. So I was able to reach this brother. So it is not all for naught. It's not all for naught. Oh shit. So the brother, he didn't fight. But the problem is his teachers is gonna he's gonna try to recall what was said to him. His teacher's gonna just like now you see how he like scrutinized me. He made sure that everything meant what it said. He was playing dumb with knew or not and knew her. And I had to go to several passages. I didn't convince him. I didn't reword it. I'm showing you, brother, in the context, man. Like this is clearly a sexual inference. But he still fought a little bit. Then he finally, conceded, which was great. The problem is his camp is not going to go through the rigorous steps that I did to convince him to the truth. They're just going to flat out tell him, nah, that's fake. Look, man, Joseph the dad, the seed of David, stick to the script. And that's it. So he kept saying the seed of Joseph. He kept saying Joseph, David through Joseph. I'm like, brother, where does it say Joseph, man? So, but to be real, like anybody who really can like take this doctrine that's like so obvious that it's false, that there is a spirit or some type of so if you want to do religiously wise, they got some spirit of deceit in them, and non-religious, they are like they already had that lying ability in them. Because especially when you're talking to people, like this shouldn't be so hard to accept. Once now I get it, you got tricked, no problem. Cults do that. They make it sound good, they trick you, or you don't even care. You're like, all right, whatever, Joseph, that. But once somebody show you very plainly, like I just did, and you're still fighting and saying no and all this stuff, yeah, maybe you are just a liar. Like that's just who you are, regardless of joining a one West camp, Islam, becoming an atheist or whatever. Maybe that's just who you are. So wherever you go, you're just gonna be that liar at the job, you know, wherever you go, a doctor, a lying doctor, barber, a lying. That's what you're gonna be. It says he knew her and knew. This dude said, okay, so Adam knew his wife Eve. Like he know who she is, brother. In chapter 2, didn't he know who she was back then when he said, bone of my flesh. This is my wife Eve. Didn't he know her in chapter 2? So why is he knowing her again in chapter 4? And then I had to read 25 from him. He knew her again, brother. How many times they're gonna break up and come back together and know each other? How many times they're gonna split up, forget about each other, and then remember who they were? Come on, what's going on here? So so when that's pointed out that easily, then that Matthew 125 hurt more now, because Joseph knew her not until she brought forth her first son, her firstborn son. So that that hits a little harder. Yeah, that definitely hits harder. All right, so I'm going to piece to we got J Hall. He's new, the Watcher, LCK. J Hall's new, so I like to hear new. I like to see new faces. Say here, but I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna play a clip. So indigenous BM, IBM, 51st dates, new international. So Adam Sandler, so 51st dates, new international version. So IBM hit me up this morning and said, "Hey man, Judah Nazareth is debating the virgin birth." So I think he was trolling me because I heard Judah's name before, but I'm like, nah, he's supposed to be Old Testament. What would he be like? Why would he care? So I said, all right, let me just click. I was gonna ignore IBM. I said, let me click it. So I clicked it, and he was. I know I seen this. I know I seen his thumbnail before. I'm like, this kind of thumbnail look familiar. So he was arguing the virgin birth. He had a panel. He had a guy on there like probably dumber than anybody ever had on here. Like really. So it looks like we got the intelligence, the intellects of them. Because the guy they had over there was straight horrible. Oh my God. Um, so he was lying on, because again, Judah Nazareth, he's Old Testament. He ain't gonna do no crazy research on the virgin birth because he doesn't subscribe to New Testament at all. So when the guy was lying, so what happens is they're not going to confuse him what he already know for sure. He knows talking about like anybody with eyes knows talking about the virgin birth. So as long as he stood there, he knew like no rabbit hole can get him off. But the other guy was lying about other manuscripts, and I had to chat up. I said, "Yo, he's lying," and yeah, and they sent the StreamYard link. I clicked it, hopped on. Man, did that dude go quiet? Man, did he go quiet? So I'm going to replay that. ILCK said Romans 11:7-8, but the election had obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Verse 8, God had given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that should not see and hear, and ears that should not hear until they hear facts. So I'm going to play that back and forth. Kind of crazy because in the morning, but the guy was so dumb, I ended up yelling at him. But I didn't go too crazy, but I went a little crazy. Not too crazy. There's nothing you ain't never heard before. All right, so I'm just hoping I ain't like talk too fast. Cause when I get mad, I be sounding like I'm speaking Spanish. I be talking so fast. All right. Anyway, so I'm gonna get off here and I'm gonna play that into itself. I'm gonna call it Nazareth. His name Judah Nazareth. Judah Nazareth and Unbiased Sports team up on something like that. Virgin Birth team up on the Virgin Birth. And the guy we were debating, I don't know what the hell he was. I mean, he couldn't have been like he was too stupid to join One West. Like, there's no way he was in the One West camp. There's no way. He was just really bad. He might have been Muslim, I think, because they were debating Muslims too. So he might have been Muslim because he was just too stupid to be One West, and that's like not a compliment. That's not a compliment for One West.